Seymour didn't really have much fire protection, and the Merchants Association took on a project to develop a fire department, and I had a couple of years with the city of Knoxville previous professionally in the fire department, so I was interested in it, and I was, I guess, attending the meetings and so on. And the way I got elected chief was that I was working evening shift at Alcoa, and I missed a meeting one night, and I got drafted. So that was the beginning of my service with the fire department. As a group, we bought the lot where the #1 station is, and it was full of pine trees. We went in there and cleared all of that off, and we had many groups or individuals around in Seymour that really came to bat for us, doing excavations, actually donating all the block work that went into the building, and just great support. And it's really become the #1 volunteer fire department in the state.
What inspired me to become a volunteer? It was actually through Boy Scouts. We were in the Explorer Post, and after we graduated high school, one of my best friends became a volunteer firefighter. And then he said, "Hey, this is pretty cool, you need to do it." And I did, and once I fought a house fire, that was it. I was hooked, and 45 years later, here I am. You actually get to help your family and your friends, your neighbors, the people that you know. It's not like some of the other fire departments that I work for where we're helping total strangers, although we help total strangers here in Seymour. Many times we're helping our neighbors and family and friends that we actually know. And to be able to provide them some assistance during the worst time of their life is extremely rewarding and gratifying, but it also is providing a service that no one else in the area is providing at this time.
I became a firefighter mainly because of need. I worked at Johnson Bible College, emergency services, and got involved with the fire service at that time. There really was no family history, but now we're starting some family history with Adam being involved in the department as well. But I'm very honored to be serving in this role. The department's been around for over 52 years, and there's many, hundreds and hundreds of men and women who have come through and served their community in this way. It's just kind of humbling at times to be put in this position, stressful at times to have all the responsibility, but it's very rewarding to be able to give back to the community. People that are, in their worst day, need help. I enjoy serving them and help them through their problem at that time in their life.
I remember as early as 4 years old, him wanting to be a civil servant in some sort of capacity. Everyone around him saw that he had a calling to make the community truly a better place to live. He never let his age stand in the way to reaching his goals or dreams. It was at that point that he turned and wanted to be involved in the fire department. I told him he was probably a little young, but they let him hang around anyway. Zach found being part of a team very rewarding to him. I watched how it changed his character from a boy to a man. I found it rewarding to see how excited and happy he was to be part of the fire department. There was a particular time when I was attending one of the ceremonies where I pinned him, and the smile on his face was bigger than the room. And I knew at that point he truly found what he was loving. He made the biggest impact on with his character, his smile, and laugh, he was always willing to help anyone in need.
When considering what my dad, Gary Pryor, found most rewarding about serving as a volunteer firefighter with the SVFD, I think it would be the opportunity it gave him to just affect a positive change all across Seymour. My dad was the kind of person that was always quick to extend a helping hand to anyone in need, whether that was in his personal life or through his service with the SVFD. But serving as a volunteer firefighter really gave him an opportunity to extend that reach more broadly across Seymour and through the county. Similarly, our family has benefited from the community that the Seymour Volunteer Fire Department provided. My dad was diagnosed with esophageal cancer in 2022. The department was a rock for our family, and we appreciate them immensely. As my dad's illness progressed, they were always there to just extend a caring hand and a listening ear to our family when we were in need. I'll never forget all they gave us through that really, really difficult time. I know my dad was so proud of the work that he and his friends did to just help make Seymour a better place. Whether it was something as intense as rescuing a family from a raging fire, or just placing a warm coat on someone and extending a kind listening ear after a car crash. I've been able to personally witness my dad do both as I grew up. Seymour's a better place because of the dedicated service that the brave men and women at the SVFD have provided for years, just like my dad. Rest easy, GP.
So Daddy was inspired to join the volunteer fire department for several different reasons. One was his commitment to the community. He loved serving the community, and he really liked the big red trucks. Daddy always had a great respect for first responders. Throughout the years as a newsman, he developed a trust. The first responders trusted him with information, and in return, he had a respect for them. He respected their bravery and their moral aptitude. And because of that respect, he wanted to be able to give back to them in some way. And being involved with the Seymour Volunteer Fire Department was only a natural fit. He developed many strong relationships with many fire departments throughout his career in different areas, but the Seymour Fire Department really became a family to him. And it was rewarding for him to give back to the fire department because they had helped our family in different ways in our times of need, whether it was when he was sick with cancer and had fallen and we needed lift assist, or in a wreck, and the fire department was always there for us in our times of need, and he wanted to be able to give back to them any way that he could. My dad was able to benefit the fire department and the community both at the same time. Throughout his career, he was given a voice, and he wanted to use his voice for good throughout the radio, whether that was to remind people to get their yearly health screenings, whether it was a colonoscopy, a mammogram, or to share his faith. He was never ashamed to let people know that he was a Christian. But he also wanted to help the community, whether it was to support law enforcement officers or fire departments. He wanted to use his voice for good. And one way to do that was to help raise funds for the Seymour Volunteer Fire Department, a cause that he really believed in. Even upon Daddy's death, that was one of his dying wishes, was that the Seymour Volunteer Fire Department would be supported. And that is something that we're honored, my brother, sister, and Mom and I are honored to help continue his legacy to do.
To understand his desire to be a volunteer was to have to know and understand Ray Godfrey. Chuck's dad was one of the earliest members of the Seymour Volunteer Fire Department, and so his dad was his best friend and his hero. So anything that Ray did, Chuck wanted to do. He had a very good role model of setting an example for volunteerism, wanting to give back to your community, and understanding the importance of that role. So earlier than he was supposed to be, he was running fire calls with his dad in limited capacities, but as soon as he was 18, he couldn't wait to be 18, that he could officially become a member of the fire department. So that was what inspired him, and what motivated him to keep going was just his desire to give back to the community, and that was instilled in him by his parents. Extreme growth of our community and the amount of miles that this department has to serve, and now the growing number of people that it has to serve. With that comes making sure that your department is staffed enough and that they are equipped enough to be able to answer those calls and serve our community. The hardest days of our marriage were in the fire service. You know, when you have newborn kids at home and it is Christmas morning, literally the first call after he was sworn in as chief was a fatality on Christmas Eve. And so the having to change your plans, you know, our daughter was just like 2, I think, at the time. And so, you know, knowing that he was going to miss out on things because the call to serve his community was equal to the call to serve his family. And so as a family, that is difficult from that aspect. From a rewarding aspect, you know, Chuck used to joke all the time, and he would tell me, he's like, you know, I know the fire department gets on your nerves sometimes, but he said, when you need us, we're there. And on February 28th, I needed the fire department, and they showed up. And I will be eternally grateful for this community. A lot of those guys and girls that serve right now in this department didn't serve under Chuck. Several did, but a lot didn't. And so that didn't matter to them that they did not know him personally. They came through that door like he was their brother. And I will be forever grateful for this department and how they came through for my family when we needed them the most.
Tonight, as we gather to raise funds for a new fire station, I am reminded of the generosity and support of our community. And I am deeply grateful for the opportunity to serve alongside such dedicated individuals. I am proud to be a part of this organization and to contribute to the continued safety and well-being of Seymour and its residents.